will there be any voting or resolutions or motions and papers, as there have been in previous conferences? And secondly, could I ask for a comment, please, on GAFCON?
There will be resolutions. We're hoping that we won't have quite such a formidable lineup of plenary sessions dealing with resolutions in the last few days, to leave ourselves some space. But there will be business to be done on that. On GAFCON, the proposed conference in Jerusalem, I think it's important to remember that before the last Lambeth, and indeed on other occasions, there have been major international gatherings, regionally or in other ways constructed, preparing for Lambeth. And I'm very happy to see such regional events going forward. But I do have real concerns that in this case there are unresolved issues for the local church, the church in Jerusalem, which has pinpointed some real anxieties about having such a conference at this time in the Holy Land. I really hope those can be addressed.
Can you report on those anxieties?
They've been expressed by the Bishop of Jerusalem, and I think they're on record.
I'm Riyadh Abba, I'm from The Guardian. I have some questions for the Most Reverend Ian Ernest. In October 2007, you hosted a Catholic Primates meeting. You also signed a communique asking for Lambeth to be postponed, but you're here now. So can you just explain what changed between October and now?
Yeah. No, nothing has changed. It is only that because of the tensions prevailing, we thought that we should give some time to his attention. But being part of the design group, and after talking to the Archbishop, we thought that in order to ease attention, we should meet, we should be engaged with each other and be able to see how best we can serve the Anglican communion. Nothing has changed, except that I still love my communion and want it to be in unity.
So, presumably, do you disagree with everything you signed up to in October?
No, I don't disagree with it. It's that we wanted to see how best we could serve the communion in the sense that if we ask for postponement, just to keep the unity. But when we've talked as a design group and with the Archbishop of Canterbury, we thought it would be best to hold the Lambeth conference, and I do agree with that.
Sorry, let's give everyone a chance, Paul.
Sorry, Paul Hanley, Church Times. What is the Lambeth conference going to do about homosexuality?
There are two ways in which we'll be looking at this question. There's a whole day in the timetable which is around sexuality questions as they affect the ministry of bishops. And part of that, a very important part, will be the reporting back of the listening process, which has been set in motion, which Canon Phil Groves of the Anglican Communion Office has been overseeing in the last year or so. And because the last Lambeth Conference asked for that listening to go on, and the Communion has taken that seriously, that needs to be reported. So that particular day is one way in which we'll be addressing this. The other, of course, is it's inevitably going to be part of the conversations informally, day by day, as people will bring to the conference what their anxieties are and what their hopes are. So I would expect it to be both informal and formal in that sense. There will not be a resolution on this subject.
Will you have anything with your statement?
Well, we haven't met yet. And it's just possible that there might be a few other things people would like to talk about.
Simon Stanley, online. Could I ask Mr. Williams, how many spouses, we heard how many bishops are expected, so how many spouses and how many will be men?
How many will be men? We're expecting pretty well all the married bishops to bring their spouses with them. So I can never count, but that's quite a lot. And there'll be slightly fewer men than there were last time, actually, funnily enough, but there will still be 3 or 4, I think. Yeah.
Is anybody else?
Victoria from the tablet. I spoke to Mrs. Williams from the Archbishop, in fact, I think also Archbishop Polo also talked about telling stories and the fact that you were giving a lot of time to telling stories. Could you illuminate that for the Archbishop and Mrs. Williams, illuminate why you think it's so important to be telling stories?
Shall I start? It's partly just that that's actually the way we get to know each other best. So we found, I imagine your planning group found the same, we certainly found in our planning group, that the time we spent actually just saying, how's it been in the last year, what are the things that are on your heart, were the things that made our faith, our fellowship, and the point of our being together most clear. So it's no good talking about things in the abstract if we don't know how it fits into people's lives.
Perhaps I could just underline that and say what I would really like to see happening at the Lambeth Conference is people starting to talk in the first person and the second person rather than the third all the time. And that can't happen unless there's a degree of space given for people to get to know each other. I realise that storytelling can sound like a soft option when there are big issues to discuss. In fact, I don't think that's true. I think that we effectively discuss the crises, the challenges, when we have built up a measure of trust and understanding. And I think, therefore, it's absolutely essential for a reasoned discussion to have that element built in.